people are so desensitized these days because there's so much the news and what's going on. They don't feel it anymore. But when a director actually goes on the field and puts their soul, they go through so much just to be able to show in the most beautiful way that they can show. You know, sometimes it kind of helps us a bit to be able to accept those realities that are so difficult.
What is your wish for the Artivist organization?
To grow and do it all over the world.
My name's Tracy Manners. I work in factual television at the BBC. I'm here tonight writing reviews for the Film and Festival magazine.
Wonderful. And what was your impression on the film and the films and the program that you saw this evening?
I think what I found most interesting about tonight is, it's no real big secret that documentaries as a whole can. We're quite desensitised to sort of the biggest and sort of widest issues, and I think it's the greatest difficulty is sort of disengaging with the contributors and sort of not feeling connected with them. So I think that what I particularly liked about tonight is that we weren't faced with. There was a really unique angle in both of the films. There were really unique angles on the characters, and they were so kind of. It was such sort of fundamental sort of things, sort of sublime things, motherhood, and just I think. In the first film, the relationship with her mum, the way she broke down, it was just something that everybody could connect with, everybody could engage with, and it wasn't something that's specific to living in a war-torn country. It was something that every child in the world needs, and that's this unique monotropic bond with their parent, and so I really felt that it took these huge issues and then highlighted the sort of simplest and saddest nuances of separation, and it was really touching, really touching.
And what do you think about this type of festival? What do you think about the Artivist Film Festival, whose mission is to raise awareness for humanity, animals, and the environment through film? Do you think this is a needed festival for the community? What are your thoughts on this on Artivist, basically?
I think it's absolutely needed, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, it's not only is it a great forum for sort of like-minded people to get together and share ideas and discuss access, discuss kind of funding, all of those options that filmmakers, new filmmakers face. But it's also, these are messages these are all kind of new realities that we're not aware of, huge plights that people really need to know about, the things that are happening in our countries, things that our governments are responsible for, and so it's up to we should be aware of those. We may have converse opinions on them, we may agree, we may disagree, but it's really important that we're made aware of them to start with, and this is a great forum for that.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
And one last question.
Go ahead.
Any last words for the filmmakers and the organization back home, because they're going to be able to see this. So the filmmakers will actually see this, and the organization at home will also see it, just to see what kind of impact it made to the audiences over here.
Well, I can only really speak for myself, but I was really moved, really touched, and just to congratulate them on that, because I think that they were so well structured. The emotional peaks came at just the right times, and just when you kind of wondered how are they going to wrap this film up, then suddenly there was an ending and it made sense, and I just think structurally they were beautifully put together, really well constructed, so yeah, really pleased.
What would you suggest we do? This was so wonderful, but in our communities, what would you suggest we do to share this message? It's so powerful. It needs to be shared.
On our website, we provide packs basically for people who actually want to do something, be it in a school, in a community hall, whatever. So I suppose it's about getting the word out there. I mean, it is, as Wayne says, actually, it's tough right now. Running, basically charity work full stop is very, very difficult, and it's also, sadly, it is crisis reactive, which is obviously once these conflicts end, it's kind of what then. So I suppose the best thing really is just there's nothing more valuable actually than someone actually wanting to take that message forward. In other words, kind of committed groups of individuals who just want to get their word out there, and actually, that becomes an ongoing project for them, a passion for them, because really that's what it's all about. Because obviously, once the cameras have gone, it's very difficult to maintain the work. It's incredibly difficult.
Was anything behind, who are the people behind developing that program? And as War Child, I'm getting that you work in 4 different countries or so, do you sort of provide a kind of cross-pollination of that information and those techniques for other people in other countries or other organisations or other shelters in other countries that are working with young people from similar sort of experiences?
When I saw that film, it's a bit shocking in a way for us non-Christians to see how they work. And I don't think, we would work in that same way, but that doesn't mean that we have any monopoly on what's right. I think the process they put the kids through, or they worked with them through, was really amazing. And it is a complicated process, because these kids have been totally desensitized and forced to do things that are unimaginable to most people. And then they have to go back. And so that's only a 4-month process, unfortunately. Like she said, I don't know what happens to these kids who go back. And that's what most of the Uganda programs did at that time. That center there is no longer operating. It's now a secondary school run by one of the dioceses there. And Els is now the editor of the leading newspaper, in Uganda, the New Vision. But I think, we're all trying to learn from each other, and each context is different.
What kind of international attention has there been on this issue? What can be done, and what are the obstacles that stand in the way of stopping this war? And is there anything that, we as sort of concerned citizens can do to put pressure on international leaders?
Good question. We perhaps all of us here could assemble an army and hunt him down. I'm not really too sure. I don't know what Wayne thinks.
Well, unfortunately, the U.S. government is going to do that, it looks like. When I was in Central African Republic, I was told by somebody that the U.S. was putting $40 million into this. Don't know if that's true, but that's what I was told. But, Joseph Kony has been driven out of DRC and now is in the southeast corner of Central African Republic, which is largely rainforest. And the interesting thing is, they only have, the estimates of the number of people they have is 200 to 400 now. And they're just brutal people. I don't, hopefully the International Criminal Court will put him on trial. That's all. And that's what I think, whatever support the British government can give, would be useful, I think.
Actually, that's a big thing that Wayne said, because what he wanted in the last peace talks in Sudan was he was pushing basically for an Acholi form of justice, in other words, his tribe. But of course, it's kind of it's got to be the ICC now, in line with obviously, in line, I suppose, with that push to bring people like him, to trial. I think it has to be the ICC. The question is how, because he's not going to give himself up. That's the problem.
Well, thank you for coming tonight. If you'd like to speak with any of our guests, I'm sure they'll be out in the lobby. We'd be happy to speak with anybody. So thank you for coming tonight.